There's no place to escape to.
This is the last podcast.
On the left.
Side stories?
That's when the cannibalism started.
Side stories. Yeah.
You got it. So the prodigal son has returned. Marcus Parks has deigned to come into the Side Stories studio, which is what it is when it is not currently the last podcast on the left studio.
I requested
He did.
to come on this show.
He did.
I requested this week.
He did. Eddie was like, where am I? What do I do? Right, but he was good because he's having difficulty with his dogs are fine, by the way. I want to bring this up. He did go to the vet. We know Julie, his wife, had to jump on Instagram after he talked about Rambo eating the entire taxidermy crocodile head. And he was shitting out teeth, and everyone was getting upset because they were like, oh, you didn't call a vet. But Julie's father's, his wife's father's a vet. They called him. He said, as long as shit's coming out the front and the back of a dog, you're fine.
Yep.
Isn't that weird? As long as it's coming in and out. But I'm glad to have you back today.
Yeah, I'm very happy to be back.
And you know what I think we should do? First of all, this is Side Stories. I'm Henry Zabrowski. I'm sitting here with Marcus Parks.
Hey.
Yeah, and I actually do think that we should start, not seriously, but our hearts go out to the people in Baltimore.
Oh, God.
With what the hell is going on with this bridge collapse.
Jesus
we know
Christ.
what we know now about this bridge collapse is that there was some form of electronical malfunction on the barge that was coming underneath the bridge. The one thing about the bridge, which is like there was, I think something like 20 people are dead. We don't know what the number is yet with the bridge collapse.
Last I heard, there were 6 missing.
Yes, and there's a lot of people talking, obviously conspiracy theories immediately jump out, but I honestly think one of the biggest issues with this is explaining how like that bridge was allowed to be at what I believe was called fracture fail. Like there's like this term that they use where essentially one loud fart would take down this very, very crucial bridge.
Yeah,
and then
very busy, very, very busy bridge.
And then it all came down. So this barge was coming through from Singapore. There was electronical malfunction on the barge. It crashed into one of the pylons that support the bridge. They call it a partial collapse, which I think is spin like crazy.
It was I woke up this morning and I walked out. Carolina was already awake and had the news on. I'm bleary-eyed, and the very first thing I see when I wake up, I turn and look at the TV and I see a bridge collapse.
Yeah. Well, oh, cool. Oh,
fucking awful.
Is this new mushroom coffee? Like, ooh, yum, fun. Oh.
No, it's one of my biggest fears is I hate driving over bridges.
We all do.
Yeah, and this thing just collapses.
It really does collapse.
And
we're
we
watching
got
the video right now.
We love Baltimore so much.
We do.
It's one of our favorite. It's
that
one of our favorite
entire
cities
bridge
in
went
America.
down.
The entire bridge went down.
This is not a partial collapse.
No.
I'm watching the entire bridge collapse into the river. This is not a partial collapse. This was also the only route for hazmat waste material to leave the city.
Jesus Christ.
So our hearts go out to Baltimore. We love that city. Can't wait to come back, which we are going to do, and we're not taking the bridge. So we're going to have to get there by helicopter. But you guys, I hope that everybody is okay. And unfortunately, I hate to say this, but at least it happened at night.
Yeah.
It happened in the middle of the night, around 1:30 in the morning, which probably saved a lot of lives, which is also, but still, it's extremely tragic. And Marcus is actually getting on a train tomorrow to go help. And so he said that because he wants to go by train. He wants to see the country.
I want it to take 6 days.
He wants it.
Because I don't think no one's in any hurry to get this thing fixed.
No.
I'm going to take my time.
He's going to, his main thing, what Marcus says, is he wants to be there to help emotionally after the fact. And he said mostly he was weirdly saying he's got a hotel room. It's going to be in the downtown area, La Quinta. He's looking to talk with single mothers. Which is really interesting. But honestly, it's nice for somebody to sort of really focus on the single mother.
Really focus on the single, because there's going to be a lot of people in Baltimore affected by this.
I really do. And
Seriously though, like it's going to, it may end up killing shipping in Baltimore permanently.
Well, it's definitely not going to be back for a minute. So I hope that Baltimore is okay, and avoid bridges. That's a good way to. Is that a good way to start the day?
A good way to start the day.
Avoid all bridges.
As many as you can.
We need help. country needs help. We need to get in there. You know what we need?
What?
The Avengers. But I'm not talking about the actual superheroes. Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, the other guy, Scarlett
Mark Ruffalo.
Johansson. Not him. I actually think that he's
Too big of a head after Poor Things?
I think he's a great actor.
Yeah.
I think he's a great actor, but I don't know. He's not my go-to guy. I actually think that Robert Downey Jr. would be very helpful because he's the most not a Scientologist, but could be a Scientologist guy in terms of energy and effervescence.
He's a chameleon. He can kind of get in anywhere.
Be anything.
Yeah.
And it's like it's the way he changed, because remember he was like sleeping in people's homes?
Yeah. Before Iron Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Couch surfing.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
But he was breaking into people's houses and shit.
Yeah.
I miss old Robert
wait,
Downey
no,
Jr.
he used to break into people's houses?
Well,
I didn't know about this.
It was when he was like really off the rails with drugs, when he was fun. Back when he was like a fun guy.
Yeah.
All right, so you came in here today. Do we want to start with why you're here today?
I mean, I texted you at 9 a.m.
You did.
on Sunday morning.
You did. And I woke up, I was like, oh God, what has happened?
Yeah.
Is this bad news?
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
It wasn't bad news at all. It was a story that Carolina told me about. This story is incredible. It's terrifying. It's strange. It comes out of New Mexico. Health officials say new HIV infections have been linked to a salon that performed so-called vampire facials.
Okay.
Almost 5 years after the business closed. And what got me was the term vampire facial.
So have you never, see, what's funny is that I am with my beautiful wife.
Yes.
She loves all forms of, like, she does IVs, she does all this stuff. I'm pretty certain she's mostly still my full organic wife.
But at this point, she could have been replaced by
Chemicals.
another being.
I don't know what goes in and out of her, right? But she has done these vampire facials before.
These things are insane. I mean, basically what they do is they take blood from your arm.
I also believe that my wife would be just as beautiful without him.
Yeah.
I think she'd be just. I don't think that's even the reason why she's beautiful. How about that? I don't even think that. All right, I think she keeps it tight. She's working hard on it.
Yeah, my wife was horrified to find out that her dermatologist does these.
Oh yeah, of course.
These things. This is a legit treatment that
Yes.
people do, but you're supposed.
Explain it.
But you're supposed to be licensed.
Oh, well, yeah. You can't just be a guy. You can't just be like, yeah, I'll get your blood out, sticking it back in your mouth. It's okay if I do it with my own mouth with a straw.
So what people do is they draw blood out of the arm, and then they put it in a sort of centrifuge, and
Yes.
it separates the platelets
Yes.
from
The plasma.
and then they take those platelets and they put them in a bag, I think, and they take.
They're not
these-
like plates. They're goop. They're other goops.
I know,
I'm
it's
pretty
goop.
certain.
Yeah, you put it in a bag.
Yeah, other
you
goops.
put goop in a bag.
Yeah, you put
don't
goop in a bag.
You don't put goop in a cup.
You can put goop in a cup.
But if you put the goop in a body, you got to put the goop in a bag.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. It would be nice to have a bag. Honestly, it would be nice to have a cup because that's reusable.
Yeah, that's true. But you can reuse a bag.
And they can wash it out. Then you dump the stuff in the goop. Dump the goop in the fucking garbage can. Continue.
So they get these micro needles and they put a bunch of tiny little holes
Yes.
all over the person's face. And then they take this blood, these
Your
platelets,
blood.
your own blood, and they smear it all over your face and let it seep in.
It injects in. It goes
Yeah.
into your blood. Now, my
Yeah.
thing is that how are people getting HIV? Because it's supposed to be coming from your blood.
I would imagine I would imagine they were using the same equipment over and over again.
Is there any research as to why, like, how that HIV is being, like, actually spread around? Because that is what I find interesting. Is
Yeah,
that
I looked it up. I wasn't able to find like an exact.
Either they're
like, here's
mixing
why
up
it is.
blood.
Yeah.
They might just be mixing up blood because I actually don't even know. Side stories lpotl@gmail.com. I'd love to know what part of the blood has got the dirt in it.
I would imagine that it was just them improperly cleaning the equipment. I mean,
It must be.
the micro needles. You know, because if you do the micro needles on somebody and then you don't properly clean it, AIDS, I think, or HIV could probably survive quite a bit. And then the next person gets the micro needles and then they get HIV.
Side stories lpotl@gmail.com. Do you do microneedles? We actually have a lot of, and I believe the term is estheticians in the audience. Like my friend Heather.
What's an
Natalie and I's friend,
esthetician?
somebody who works with skin.
Dermatologist?
It's not dermatologist is someone who does, I believe, lumps and fucks and comes. Like lumps, an esthetician is the one that does all of the stuff that it's like salon stuff. Yes.
Ah.
Yeah. It's all about like an esthetician is a professional who performs facials, applies makeup. And my friend Heather actually has been working with this one that does what's called, it's like gender affirming esthetician work in Pittsburgh. And but they talk about this style of like, I would love to know how this could possibly happen, because I wonder if, number one, do the machines even work if they're gunked up because the needles are so small? I don't know. Like how much material, like literally blood, is needed in order to transfer HIV? Like how virulent does it have to be? Also, does it come from a like? I also don't understand how this procedure wouldn't work. I don't understand how this procedure would work without it being your blood.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're still getting
Can't it just be
blood
any
smeared.
blood?
You're getting blood smeared all over your face. So, who knows if it works or not. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have
Natalie
to
looks
work.
great.
Yeah, but as far as this place goes, I don't think this place does not really seem like they're on the level. It's called VIP Spa. That's it. It's just called VIP Spa.
Hey, very important people. Very important people are there. What were you going to say, Rob?
This article right here just says that they found dozens of unused needles throughout the spa.
No, dozens of used needles.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that is what it is.
Oh, improperly disposed of in multiple trash cans.
That's
and
where it
stuffed
is
in
from.
drawers
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
client
yeah.
treatment. And so, yeah, there's just going to be a lot of cross-contamination in there. It's just cross-contamination. They're not properly disposing of their biohazards.
I never want to see the sentence ever again when it comes to a doctor's office. Unlabeled syringes, quote unquote, loaded with unknown biologics were stored next to coffee creamer and cheese slices in a snack refrigerator. That's not good. Unlabeled vials of human blood next to the mayonnaise doesn't seem to be the best way you want to do this.
It's not a doctor's office. It's just a fucking spa.
It is just a spa.
It's like a place you go. It's like a place you go for a facial and a massage. And they're doing fucking. I mean, this shit used to happen in New York all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So many different stories of like women getting those like Brazilian butt lifts and getting like the illegal silicone injected into their butts, and then they die because they get an infection.
Yeah,
you
dude.
got to go to a professional when it
must.
comes to this shit. You have to go to a person with
a
DR.
license. You just need a license. You need somebody that has some kind of license, a piece of paper. What we learned from Anders Breivik is actually you can print that shit up really easily, and you actually could be totally fake. But hey, lie to me. At least like give me some pomp and circumstance like this might actually be a doctor's office.
Check this shit out. Just check your people out.
But I know many people that are in this service, like that do esthetician work, and so it is a highly skilled job. Like you have to be skilled to do it, and
you can fuck people up real easily.
like this.
You can give people HIV.
You can give people HIV, which is that's why it's like. But I'm not going to say against it because I feel like a lot of people love this new. It's a journey. People changing. I think that's what we are definitely going to see in the future in terms of how humanity is going to change. I think Trans Metropolitan is probably still one of the most accurate views of like how humanity will progress through the future and the way we identify ourselves and what we do. So I love when people fuck with the way they look.
Sure.
I'm hoping we get llama people. Like I want llama people. I want cheetah people. I think that's fun as fuck.
Oh yeah, spend a day as a dolphin. I dream about that fucking panel.
Oh yeah, I want you because I love that because I think that's kind of where we're kind of expand our minds. I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's going to help the job market, but that's not what it's really about. It's about you. I love the personal exploration. People trying to do stuff like this. This is just stuff I just don't understand. I want to know where the first vampire facial came from.
Yeah.
Who's the first guy that was like, "What if we made harvest their blood, and maybe it will make you beautiful, or you will become a demon incarnate." I don't know who does it. Oh, Dr. Barbara Sturm did it. Oh, wow.
Well, I mean, just do the same thing that you did. Just do it with a German accent. You'll be fine.
Schnagen. The blood helps simulate collagen production, which can reduce fine wrinkles, scarring, acne scarring, and brown spots.
Yeah, if you put it in German, the blood helps stimulate the collagen production, which can reduce fine wrinkles, scarring, acne scarring, and brown spots.
We have found a final solution for your own skin. No, this is it is interesting. That's interesting. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got here.
It's because I for some reason got fascinated with this shit at 9 a.m. on a Sunday.
Not you. I'm talking about the fucking like vampire facials. But hey, whatever makes everybody happy.
Yeah.
Whatever you got to
Hey,
do.
I'm down for it. Whoever wants
Women
to do
love pain. And maybe not just women do this, but people who like beauty like to hurt.
You
They like to-
you have to.
I guess.
It all hurts.
Look
it
at
all
me.
hurts always.
I do nothing that hurts, and I'm incredible. Look at me. I'm aging like a pecorino.
My God, man! I went to a store a couple of days ago to get some new like T-shirts. I went to a thrift or a vintage store to get some T-shirts.
Okay,
Yeah. I'm
all
wearing,
right.
wearing one right now. It's very nice. I like
Ooh,
this shirt.
cool
Yeah.
guy,
It's
all
good.
right.
Screaming. But I went into the dressing room. I took some shirts in there with me, and one of them was a little youthful, let's say. I was like, I could maybe pull this off.
I just showed you in the makeover episode, you can be youthful.
I don't know, man. Because that's the thing. I put this shirt on, and it was like kind of like a low cut, and it had like a bunch of skulls on it. And it was like super cool. I was like, man, this is like something I totally fucking wear like in my 20s. Like, let me check this out.
Yeah.
And I put it on, and I looked in the mirror, and for the first time ever, I saw a 40-year-old man. Like I looked and I was
I
like,
don't see it though, Marcus.
like I looked.
I see a young, fresh. I see the boy I met.
You see the boy.
When I look at you, I just see old Marcus.
Yeah,
I
that's-
don't see this.
That's really nice of you to say. It really is.
I don't
But the
see
dressing
this.
room mirror said something very different.
That dressing mirror's a liar. All right, it has no idea what's going on. Context.
If I was
What about context?
if I was 25, I would have bought like my favorite shirt ever on Saturday,
But
and I
that's-
would have wore that and I would have wore it for 5 years.
You wanna know?
But now it's too. You really got. You can age gracefully, and I'm gonna be one of those guys. I'm gonna age gracefully. I'm not gonna turn into a fucking Johnny Depp type where I'm wearing a weird hat with a bunch of feathers on
Mark
it.
this. Mark it, Rob. Can we isolate this?
Not wearing a vest and a bunch of necklaces and a lot of rings and hats.
I
with
think
a
the
weird
rings and the hats
goatee.
are a lot. I think rings and hats are a lot.
Yeah, they're really a lot, but I can't be that guy. I gotta
I'm gonna
age
give you a piece of
gracefully.
advice.
I gotta dress gracefully.
You are already. And I'm going to give you a piece of advice that I'm learning. All right, this is specifically to the men out there. Buy something that is way outside of your comfort zone that you would wear, that you're afraid to wear. And you're afraid it's going to make you look like an undercover police officer or a groomer, a child groomer. But you
I was gonna say a desperate aging man.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we have many examples. We're in Los Angeles.
I know.
We're in the capital
I did-
of desperately aging men.
I did not want to be one of those.
No, of course not. But what I say is you do something slightly outside of your comfort zone. You put it in the closet. Give it like a year. One day you'll just pop it on. You're wearing it. You're used to it. You've been seeing it in the closet a lot.
I've done that so many times.
And then
that
you
I
just pop it on.
I just keep staring at it.
That's
just
what I
keep
do.
Staring at it all the
I
time.
just make a choice about something stupid. And then I make a choice. I wear it out and I see how people react. I see how my wife acts. And then I mostly what I do is if I like my comedy, I'm shooting for 50% approval. Right? That's really all I got to get to.
Yeah.
Is once I'm at truly 51%,
Sure.
then I'm locked in. Because then the 49% that don't get it, fuck them.
Yeah, then go fuck.
Yeah. Because they're fucking stupid and they're wrong. I'm right. With the majority hanging in there. Not a silent majority, very loud, speaking to me, engaging with me, having others engaging with others, all bringing communities together, engaging, thinking about me.
True.
That's how it is.
I'm down.
Every day.
Not gonna buy that shirt.
That's fun to do. All right, so we got some more stuff. I want to do the story up top because Rob, I'm doing this one.
Top. We're like 40 minutes into the show.
Jesus Christ. How long have I been talking? How long have we been doing this?
20 minutes. Okay, 20. All right, 20. Yeah.
Now, I specifically chose this story because Rob's from Long Island, and I feel like this is a good thing. You guys, we all miss New York a little bit.
Yeah, I do.
I'm feeling a little
Been
bit
missing it a lot
recently.
lately.
But this is going to remind you, this is a little piece in New York. Now, this story I love. Woman once charged with selling sex as a hot dog vendor arrested on stalking charges. Now, this lovely lady, Catherine Scalia, 57. I'm being sarcastic. But this lady is really fun. This is before she was bad. So I just sent you a link. Now, I sent you a link, Rob. We're going to play this real quick because I just want the audience to hear what we're dealing with here and who this woman is. Catherine Scalia, she was called the hot dog hooker after she attempted to offer lap dances in her front yard on Long Island. This is from 2014. Right, this is the first thing that starts, right? And so
Hot Dog Hooker is a very 2014 headline.
Love Hot Dog Hooker. From 2016, Fox 5, she got rearrested again for offering lap dances from her futon in her front yard in Long Island. Now, this is a clip from the Fox 5 interview with Catherine Scalia. So you can just understand who this woman is and what her life goals are.
A Long Island woman who became known as the Hot Dog Hooker has set up shop once again, but outside of her East Rockaway home.
All right, and once again, she's offering more than just hot dogs. Here's Carrie Drew.
Get a wiggle with your wiener.
Showing
You
her
may
breasts.
remember the name Catherine Scalia. We first told you about her nearly 4 years ago when she became known in the press as the so-called hot dog hooker. Scalia sold hot dogs out of a trailer dressed only in a bikini and was busted for offering sex to an undercover cop.
I solicited an undercover officer. I didn't know that was going to happen. I told this guy to come to my house. I'm going to do a strip. We're going to have fun, and you're going to go home, and that's going to be the end. I didn't know I was going to be in cuffs all over the news again.
At the time, she was sentenced to 7 days behind bars.
When I gave the undercover cop the lap dance, I had pants on. And when I did it,
Then she only shows.
all I showed him
That's all she shows.
was this.
The very top of her breast.
I didn't even go topless.
Now Scalia is at it again.
They're real. These aren't silicone.
In her front yard.
Here
She's
she
flopping
is
around.
posing
It's
outside her
36
East
degrees
Rockaway
outside.
home, offering lap dances to those who drive by.
She is as she
says what
sounds.
she's doing is legal.
To the younger generation out there, do your lap dances. It's safe and it's legal.
But those who live nearby have had enough.
All right, cut
There are
it.
dozens
Yeah,
of
a lot of
complaints on
people are
Facebook.
upset. Well, this time people were mad because she was openly soliciting lap dances on her front yard, which again I think is fun.
Yeah. The strange thing to me, though, is that she's on her swinging chair offering the lap dances, but the swinging chair is facing the house, not the street.
The pillow she wrote lap dances here was perpendicular to the street. However. That was more of the bulletin board that was bringing people in. Now, Catherine Scalia is a pip.
She's a bit of a pip. I mean,
That's-
Rob, does that make you homesick?
That reminds me of my family.
But so
Rob, our good old-fashioned Long Island
oh
boy.
boy, that's a nice lady. That's a nice lady.
I think she's one of my aunts.
She might be. Now, this is in East Rockaway. So now this was people, she's a New York favorite. People love this person, but she has overstayed her welcome. So she is accused of repeatedly harassing a 51-year-old male employee at the Main Street Business Center.
Oh.
And at his home.
Main Street Business Center? What the fuck is that?
It is probably, have you ever been to a good old-fashioned upper New England area strip mall cyber cafe? That is exactly what this is. This is a cyber cafe where a man is running a cannoli-based. God knows what this guy is doing. He's doing cannoli insurance outside of this Main Street Business Center. Now,
Okay, yeah, they do drop-offs. It's like just a FedEx, UPS.
It's just a man who's living there. Now, this man doesn't want to say anything, but I do believe the man might not be of necessarily American descent. This man came out. He came into this woman's come into the store and has now exposed her breasts multiple times to him, and then also made many anti-Semitic remarks to him about the business in general. Now, the one thing about the job is the man says, I have told her multiple times to stop coming to my home and my job because it is stressing me out and it is not good for my mental health. The victim said, I am afraid that her showing up to my job and acting the way she behaves will get me in trouble with my boss, and I fear I could lose my job. So, because she keeps showing up saying stuff about, like, essentially the man that she's stalking is not Jewish, but the people who run the business are. And she said a bunch of weird shit. And apparently she's coming by 10 to 15 times a day to show him her breasts and then yell at him.
Public nuisance. She's becoming a real public nuisance now.
I don't know. It sounds
But,
like
that's the thing.
that sounds like a service I'd pay for. Show me your tits. Yell at me.
That's a fine line when it's like from local character to public nuisance, because usually that's the things. Like usually from local character to public nuisance, usually it's when the anti-Semitic remarks start coming. That's when it goes in. Okay,
Public nuisance.
all right, public. All right, now we got.
It is not a fine line, friend. She was started.
There's plenty of local characters that aren't anti-Semitic.
She started public, right? Like, that's the thing, is that her stuff, I'm like, wow, she's got some good old-fashioned Long Island boobies as well. I love her. I don't mind, except for now that she's bad, I don't like her. I liked her then. I liked her when
You
she
liked
was
her
just
then.
I liked it
Now
when
that
she was
she's
just a hot dog
anti-Semitic,
hooker.
it's, yeah.
Yeah, now I don't like her anymore. Same thing with David Icke. But it was like, this woman came, she is a flirt. And if you could see this picture of her with the hot dogs, with her bosoms right behind the hot dogs, again, I'm understanding the vibe. She is slinging. But her sons were also arrested. So now she's being arrested. She was well on her way becoming a public nuisance. I actually think that she was always trying to be a public nuisance, was actually too charming before to be one. She wanted to be one.
Yeah, you think so? You think people set out to become public nuisances?
Yes.
Ah, interesting.
Yes.
I feel like people think that they are the real thing and everyone else is the problem.
Basically.
Yeah.
But that's what's called a public nuisance.
Yes.
And I was recently watching video because, I like my body cam footage, and was watching of a woman be arrested for streaking at a baseball game.
Right.
And it's hard because that woman, you see this, also in Reddit, they have the subreddit, I'm the main character, I'm
Sure.
the main character. You see these people that are like, they woke up today deciding, I'm going to be on the news for a bad thing. I got to be on the news today. And so this woman who was streaking, she's just she's like God's gift to men. They were also
Major league game, minor league game?
minor league game. Okay. And she was like talking to the baseball, the police officers offering them to suck their dicks and stuff. And the thing about police officers is that despite some of the documentaries I've seen, not a lot of it results in foursome sex. There's some documentaries I've seen where it doesn't go that way, but in the other ones I'm watching, it seems to be very professional.
And you'd think that like streaking would lead to the sex, but usually in the documentaries,
because in a lot of the documentaries, the streaking definitely does.
Well, usually in the documentaries that I see, it's for something like I don't know,
shoplifting. There's shoplifting, and then there is the one where they speeding. Yes, and then where is it? What's another good one? The one that were all at January 6th. And then they all got railed. There has to be January 6th porn.
Yeah. At this point,
there has to be, right?
There has to be, yeah. Well, that's the thing. There's not a lot of Congress-themed porn.
Do you remember with Lisa Ann?
Yeah,
with Sarah
that
Palin?
was Nayland Palin, yeah.
Okay,
but
porn star.
But that was gubernatorial porn.
Oh, Stephen Miles, who goes by Sergeant Miles in gay porn. He was arrested at January 6th. He's got quite a wiener on him.
Does he?
You can see a bulge in there. He's doing that on purpose. He's fluffed that up. That's not natural.
Yeah, he's fluffing. He's like the pit crew on RuPaul's Drag Race. Those guys can't all have penises that massive, can they?
Are there also guys with he's got obviously super kind of long sucked out nipples because they've been playing with his nipples a lot. So.
Yeah.
God bless him.
God bless them all.
40 years old, same age as him. What do you think? Me and Sergeant Miles. Is it that much different?
Far better shape than you are.
He's in gay pornography.
Similar body hair. I'll say that. You have very similar body hair.
See, I now also watching Drag Race a lot. There's not a lot of bear representation. Every once in a while, a bunch of bears, but then they make a bunch of barking noises at them.
When the bears show up?
Yeah. Or doing the scruff boys.
Are you talking about the pit crew?
Yeah.
No, there's not too many bears at all in the pit crew.
They're hairless.
Yeah. They're quite smooth.
You're being very ignorant. Because I think hair makes a body interesting on a man. And a woman, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Many ways.
And my body is quite interesting because it's hairless.
Well, your bottom half isn't.
No, it isn't. But that's what makes it interesting. The saturness.
It's very interesting. Just explore him. He's like a book. Now, this next story is another one that I got sent a lot. This is one I don't particularly understand, but it's more like, this is one of those sounds like a Last Podcast on the Left story, but it's really not. But it's interesting to explain.
Okay.
It's the guy that had he has this rare disorder that he causes people to see people's faces as demonic.
Yeah.
He can't see it he only sees it in real life. People have an extended, long, weird mouths, furrowed brows. He sees people as demonic. I guess he apparently had some kind of bacterial infection. He also had a head injury when he was trying to pull on the stuck door of his pickup. He fell back and hit his head on the concrete. So there was a lesion on his brain. By the way, they could tell how he sees people as different as a bunch of demons is that he looks at pictures of humans on a computer screen or printed out, and he doesn't see the demon faces. But then when he looks at people in life, he then describes what he sees to the doctors, and then they drew it.
Well, he says that it really only works for him because it's different for everybody who has this disorder. It really only works if the faces are moving. If the faces are static, he doesn't really see anything. But if they're moving, then yeah. I mean, the way they look, it was described by our editor Ian as Oblivion characters.
Yes.
Yeah, like characters from the video game Oblivion.
With a come to daddy, come to daddy. They look like Aphex Twin people.
Yeah. Or it looks like if, you're fucking around with like the smudge function with, on Photoshop, it looks a lot like that too.
It's kind of cool in a way, but it's called...
It's unsettling.
Let me see if I can pronounce this. It's called prosopometaphorphasia.
Let me see if I can do it.
Prosopometaphorphasia.
Prosopometamorphose.
Morphopsia.
Morphopsia. It's the more...
Prosopometamorphopsia. PMO. Put PMO. They put PMO right next to it.
PMO or PMO. One more time. Prosopometamorphopsia.
I think I got it.
Yeah.
Rare. And they got it extremely rare.
Extremely rare.
Because it's the last time we're going to say it.
Yeah.
It's a neurological disorder of perception. It causes faces to appear distorted in shape, size, texture, or color. So I would say this to all of our listeners. I think it's important. We have a lot of guys that have experimented in hallucinogens. I have. We've a lot of people that have had extended visual hallucinations due to bad medication, or like just straight up being cuckoo bananas for a while. It happens to all of us.
Sure.
But my main thing is take a picture.
Take a picture and then see?
If you think you're seeing something, take a picture of it and look on the camera and see if you see it on the camera.
Do you tell the person that you're looking at what you're doing?
No. No. That is my other big caveat.
So
Do not tell them.
So you first have to come up with an excuse for taking their picture.
Oh my God, I want to remember where we had this lunch. Take a picture. That's a free one. And then you take a picture, and then you can then look and see if they are transforming. Just allow yourself the grace to say, maybe it not demon, maybe it Kelly, maybe it my friend Julie, maybe it not demon. I jump to conclusion it demon because I see long scary smile face. I assume demon face, demon eyes, but then I look upon the picture, it is not demon.
Then you're fine.
Yeah.
And then you can get back to your lunch.
Well, you better. Or that, but then I do understand then you'd be pretty distracted.
Yeah.
Because now you're sitting at lunch, trying to eat your salad. Every once in a while you look up and you see, come to daddy, come to daddy. I don't think it's going to be good for you. Because this guy too, Victor Schauer, who this is happening to, this is also, I feel for him. Because what he said.
For a second there, you stayed in demon voice. You go, who this happening to?
Who this happening to? This man who he is not a demon. He is not a demon. He is a man. He is an innocent victim. All right? Now, according to their ears, noses, and mouths are straight back. But this is what he said. My first thought was I woke up in a demon world.
God.
You can't imagine how scary it was. Yeah, I can. Because I wake up all too obvious knowing for a fact that we do live in a demon world. But I don't have the excuse of propomorphomorphous and umbashnikas. I don't have that excuse.
Yeah.
All right? All I have is the fact that the truth has peeled back my eyeballs permanently.
Yeah.
I can't even go outside anymore.
I'm with you, bro. I'm living in a devil town.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a devil town. Oh, Lord, it really gets me down about this devil town.
You know what's nice?
All my friends are vampires.
When I wake up in the devil town and I look in the mirror and I realize I too am a devil. Which is very scary. Actually, that's not a good realization either. Because if you wake up in a devil town, go to the devil travel agency and say, I gotta go. I gotta leave out of here. Demon? I know I'm conversing with the demon, but I do not know. Can the demon add this to my Sky Miles account? But yeah, that's a nothing story.
Yeah. Well, it's a guy who had a weird, and he has the name of a man who would have this syndrome, Victor Schauer.
Well, it's hard because it's such a bad luck thing too.
Yeah.
It's a bad luck thing to happen to you.
Hi, my name's Victor Schauer. I see demons.
I see demons everywhere I go, but I cannot see them in pictures. You know, like that's very frightening. That's a frightening life to lead.
Yeah.
You know, and that it does happen to people. So keep your head on a swivel. New worry alert. I should get a soundboard.
No, let's add this. So far we have 3 new worries. We have a barge collapsing a bridge.
Anytime.
We have contracting HIV through facial treatments.
Through your need for youthfulness and beauty, you get a wasting disease that is a burden for the rest of your life.
And then you also suddenly have the ability, or at least the curse, to see demons in every person that you interact with.
Could just happen like that. No
Boom.
idea. Boom. No idea.
So that's 3 for 3.
Keep your head on a swivel. This next one, this is the one we were both excited for. Which is sad.
Okay, well, it's interesting. It's interesting.
We were both excited for it. I want to say we were both excited for the story. I do like it. This happened in Bakersfield, California. That was Carmi's from.
Yeah. Yeah, and our employee Kelsey, also from Bakersfield.
Aww.
Yeah, I sent her this story. She said that Bakersfield is the Florida of California.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Now this
so
video,
shit like this happens all the time.
Cool. Now this video, there's a video that shows a homeless man that he was with a severed body part that he took from a train accident site and was just gnawing on it like it was a turkey leg for bread.
He wasn't gnawing on it.
Did you see the video?
He was carrying it around.
You did not see the video of him biting
I saw the video. It looks to me
He's
as if
sucking
it
meat
looks
off
to
of
me
it.
as if he is inspecting it.
With his lips and his teeth. Yeah,
not eating it.
I inspected some chicken last night.
He's inspecting it. He's inspecting it.
Watch
He's
it.
not eating
Look at it
I
again.
watched it multiple times.
Watch it again.
I watched it for the floppiness of the leg.
Oh,
you
God.
can. I mean, it absolutely looks like a human body part that this
It's
guy's.
exploded by a train.
Yeah.
Now this guy, he's a man by the name of, unfortunately, we shouldn't even say his name. I feel bad for even saying the dude's name. It's out there. It's from the sheriff's office. Rosendo Tellez, who was 27 years old, which is very sad. He removed evidence from the scene. They found him he showed up like a train blew up a person.
Yeah.
At Wasco, California. And they I guess he walked into the Mission and he just had human remains. That's where but someone filled him down the street. Now, if you watch the video, I'm sorry. I'm just hungry.
Well, he's just the walking into the Mission. That was a different guy in Bakersfield who showed up with a fucking
human
appendage.
leg. Yeah, he found
That guy
he said-
showed up with the hand.
Yeah, he found a leg. All right, so now if you look in this video, now watch this. Here, you want to blow this up, Rob? It's just so you can see it, because I want you to see. So they see this man. He's a little bit frightening. He's looking agitated. He is in disheveled dress. He has, again, what looks like a big sloppy burrito in one hand, but for some reason it's blurred out. Right, like we can't really see the extent of it. It's kind of got stuff hanging off, like strings hanging off it in a way. And then he is eating on it. That in that video right there, he is literally chewing on it.
He's inspecting it because if he was chewing on it, that would be in the story. That would be in the story.
They say that you're watching him commit cannibalism. It's like it looks like he's like the owl from the commercial. 1, a 2, a 3. It's like, no, it is not.
I mean, I do see him walk it when the cops show up. I do see him like walking away with it as if like, you're not taking this thing away from me.
Well,
like, this
yeah,
is my fucking leg.
That's the way
I found this finders keepers.
It's mine.
Yeah.
I got an extra foot. Yeah, you know what I say? Just in case the other foot goes bad. You know what happens sometimes when your foot turns into a demon? I got TMO. Tomorphomophorus. Yeah, I see feet sometimes. They turn into demons.
This is the second time this year, and it's March.
It's
this
March.
Year, this year
Yeah, it's
is
March.
it's March. This is the second time that a body part has been removed from a crash scene. The executive director of a local mission in Bakersfield said that somebody brought a hand to the shelter 3 weeks ago, just days after a train hit a pedestrian in East Bakersfield. However, all body parts were accounted for in that train accident.
So where do you find that
No
hand?
one knows where the hand came from.
I feel like the story that we're not talking about in this is this train intersection and what in the living fuck is happening.
A lot of trains go through Bakersfield.
Yeah, a lot of trains go through a lot of places. This is the most stories I've seen in one go. In terms of like a 3-month stretch, multiple people. I actually, side stories lpotl@gmail.com. I'd love to know how many people are hit by trains each year.
I think train accidents are more common than we may think. And they may also be suicides.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Well, according to, pedestrian railroad accidents are the leading cause of death on railways. Yeah, I don't think it's murder mystery. More than 7,200 pedestrians have been killed by trains since 1997.
Wow, in 2022, 954 people died after being hit by trains, an 11% increase over from the year before.
But I feel that if you're one intersection, right now, that means 3 people in the last 3 months, that's 1 per month, have been hit at this
You are assuming that hand came from a train accident.
Where else is it going to come from? Is it going to fall from the sky? Like, it's at the place where there's been other...
I'm just saying there's a lot of bodies in Bakersfield.
According to results, right? If you think about the idea of causation, I mean, obviously, normally in logic, causation is... technically, I believe it's a fallacy. The idea that it's always like you can't always look at the previous and expend. It's Hume.
Causation is not correlation.
Necessarily, right? But at the same time.
Or is it correlation isn't causation?
I don't care. But I do find interesting is the fact that if you, in my mind, if there's been multiple people that have exploded at this train intersection, it would, in my mind, would say that is from a previous human exploding on a train track.
Well, you are assuming that it's the same intersection, and it's not.
I mean, that's the mission that serves that area.
It's 2 different areas in which
it's
train
not
hit.
the same intersection?
It's not the same intersection. No.
What are you saying?
I'm saying
it's the same city.
It's the same city. Bakersfield's very large.
It's not large enough for multiple people to die on this many people. I just feel like it's a high percentage across the country. If 954 people died across the country in 2022, and then 3 people, I'm just assuming 3 already have died in just this. I mean, I don't know.
Bakersfield has 500,000, almost 400,000 people. It's got 400,000 people, less than Fresno.
But I'm still saying this still shows that an impressive amount of people are getting hit by trains in Bakersfield.
I wonder if Fresno I feel like Fresno has a lot of trains going through. 66 people died in accidents at highway railroad grade crossings in Bakersfield. Huh. Wow. And that's out of 66 out of 250.
See, that's a lot, right?
I think there's just a lot of trains running through Bakersfield.
So you're saying the trains are the problem, that there's too many trains.
You put enough trains in a populated area.
I think trains are the safest way to go. They're on a track. They're the track. You know where the train is going. Like, it's super easy
more
to
you know where the
avoid.
train's coming from.
It's super easy to avoid a train. Because then they pulled up. It goes chugga 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 chugga
Really
for
loud.
miles.
Yeah.
For miles.
It's not fucking 1893.
Chugga 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 chugga. You got
It's a
the
fast
coal.
train.
Guys moving the coal in there. That's interesting.
It's
I wonder.
yeah. Fresno train accidents.
Why do so many people get hit by trains? Unprotected crossings. Sure, I could see that.
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah, I could see unprotected crossings. Just, not paying attention.
Oh, dude, do you know that the sun might think? Have you read about this?
That the sun might have a brain, bro? Are you
Dude.
Dude, you ever thought about the fact that, like, the sun might have, like, a fucking, like, cranium? Where, like, shit, like, fucking
Dude, no.
happens?
No,
and
bro.
it's
No,
like-
listen to me, dude.
And that's why, like,
Hey,
solar
bro.
flares fucking...
No, dude.
Because the fucking...
Fucking bro, they're jealous of Earth because they have so many more fucking people living on fucking Earth, dude. No, listen to this, man. No, it's true. All right, here we go. Let me find this article.
Yeah.
Some fucking can think,
The
dude.
sun's got a fucking... Like,
Sun's got a fucking boner, dude.
Consciousness?
Yeah, dude. Sun's got a fucking boner,
Like a
dude.
big boner or like what kind of boner? Like what kind of boner is it got?
Dude, man.
Is it like a
All right.
chubby or a halfy?
So this is a thing called panpsychism. This is this idea that the concept is 19th century logical positivism. The idea that philosophical questions must have logical answers took a hold of the philosophical world. And say, like, well, maybe he doesn't, right? We have this one guy who's coming out here. His name is Giulio Tononi, right? Now, this is from 2004. He's Italian. Now, he has this concept called integrated information theory of consciousness, right? That maybe it's consciousness is everywhere, right? And this thing called a panpsychist, right, believes that every single thing has consciousness, that all has consciousness.
Right.
So this guy, right, his name Ben Goertzel, right? He's been talking about this fucking shit for a while, and he says that the link between minds and physical systems seems to be
I'm following you on this track, bro. I'm waiting for you to tell me how the fucking sun thinks.
All right. The link between minds and physical systems seems to be through rhythmic electromagnetic fields, which of course are present in our brains. They are also present in and around the sun. And these could be the interface between the solar mind and the solar body of the sun. And it says that's why we've never been hit by the big solar flare. It's because the sun has decided not to.
So, okay.
The sun has spared us.
So the sun is aware of what's happening. So the sun is aware of like power grids.
Yeah.
And he's like,
It's voting for Jesse Ventura. Weird independent thing. He's doing a write-in.
Yeah, he's doing a write-in for the next election. Okay, so the sun is aware of power grids and how dependent we are on electricity.
Very much
and,
so.
and all that.
And what it does to menstrual cycles with its buddy, its best friend,
the moon.
and the moon who talks to him. The moon's in charge of periods.
Okay.
Sun's charge of fucking dicks.
What about all the other moons in the solar system? Like
or fucking, they
Phobos,
don't want to
Deimos.
talk. They're fucking introverts.
They're
They don't talk. They don't do anything.
talk. Yeah, so you need life on the planet in order for the sun to contact your moon.
No, it's just that they just don't. Literally, they had a falling out.
So they used to be like really good, like all the moons and the sun.
Oh, everybody
they all
used to
be like
hang out.
super close. They all
But
used to
then the
hang out.
scene got fucking hardcore, dude.
What happened?
It's just because shit gets dark.
She gets.
You know what I mean? Shit gets dark. Everybody's hanging out in the same places.
like-
Everybody's fucking the
So
same
you're saying the
people.
solar system is like Party Monster?
It's just
like
gotten
it's like
too
the
much
New
for them.
York kids club scene.
There's a time for a scene, and the scenes change like the seasons.
And Phobos is like Michael Ehrlich. He like killed a guy.
I think it's more so like it's when they fired Tim Gunn and Heidi Klum from Project Runway, and now they're kind of off doing their own thing. It's kind of created a schism.
Yeah.
What happened with RuPaul and Lady Bunny?
Ah, I understand. Is
It's
it
like a schism.
Yeah, or like when Santino came out as anti-vax, like that sort of thing.
That's a big reveal.
Yeah,
When I showed that to Natalie, she freaked out
yeah.
because he always rubbed us wrong.
Oh yeah, Santino rubs everybody
He's got
wrong.
something going on. In there.
It's always so. It's very strange what's happening in that man's.
He's
There's
been
something
hanging
about
out
his
with
eyes.
P. Diddy. That's complicated. Isn't that a complicated story? The P. Diddy story. Talk about that's to me. It's like when I see the Diddy human trafficking thing. It's
Yeah.
kind of more so understanding just how
That's
much of a
fucking incredible.
all the stories
That
about.
was the second thing that I saw on the news this morning.
Diddy's just hiding outside the Miami airport, hiding behind a bush. Calling a bunch of people that's not good. He's doing something. God knows what he's doing. Means Cat Williams, right? What else Cat Williams correct about?
So Cat Williams has been talking about P. Diddy for
a
years.
long time. Everybody has been. And then I guess
Wow.
they've all just been on the same thing. And then what if? I'd like to find out if the sun was on Epstein's plane. Because I want to see how far this goes. Because if the sun can think, can the sun molest?
Depends.
Can the sun molest? Side stories, lpotl@gmail.com.
Can the sun molest?
If this is the time to come forward, if you are indeed a victim of the sun, which is the center of I want a cold space for you here.
Please.
Yeah.
Let us know.
But yeah, no, I think that they're all hanging out. I don't think Diddy, I think Diddy did bad things.
Yeah.
And then there's the shooting in Moscow. Big news.
It's incredibly huge.
We're not going to talk about it
No.
because I don't know how to do it in a way
I mean,
that won't make everybody upset.
Yeah, it's a very upsetting. It's an extraordinarily
bad.
upsetting story. Yeah, it's like the Bataclan shooting all over again.
Yeah, it's not good. Nothing's good. But you know what is good? We're going back on tour. And this is a good time for a plug, I think. This is a really good time. JK Ultra. See you North America.
That's right.
It's time for some listener fucking emails.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Lil Wayne's fine.
Yeah.
Right? He didn't do anything.
I don't think so. I think no, he's
No.
is there
There's
stuff
on him? God.
Okay.
Who can we like?
Willie Nelson.
Yeah. He's just tax evasion. And that's as American as for the flag, man.
Yeah. I would say, well, no, Snoop Dogg killed a guy.
Snoop Dogg to kill
Dr. Dre threw. You know who we can like? Eminem? I'm not sure.
Oh, man.
Yeah, yeah.
He's fine. I like him.
Okay.
I said that, I like him. But again, who do you like, though? It's more so who do you like?
I think that we can like, no.
Wow.
Dead
air. Full on dead air. Trying to figure out a single unproblematic person that we can name off the top of our heads.
I would imagine that most of A Tribe Called Quest is pretty great. You know who's great? Who we can all agree on that's wonderful? Andre 3000.
Yes, we can.
Andre 3000.
Yes, he is a curious man. He serves art wholly. He is a beatific presence on stage.
Andre
and his
3000.
generosity as both an intellectual and as a heart-forward artist is unparalleled.
Exactly. As Chuck Klosterman said, Hey Ya was the last thing that all of America agreed on.
Love him. All
We've
right.
haven't agreed on anything since then. So
No.
maybe if Andre 3000, I mean,
Come
I don't
back to hip-hop. We love the flute, but come back to hip-hop.
I mean,
Help us.
we love the flute, but yeah, he needs to find himself before he finds us.
I won't saddle my needs on him.
God, no.
No.
Let the men do it because that album is incredible.
So first of all, while Marcus is here, I think this is really appropriate because this is the nail in the fucking coffin
Yeah.
to this conversation about birds versus Godzilla. And this is the last time I'm bringing it up because this is literally the last word, and it is what our fucking listeners are the best.
Yeah.
Now, I love this letter.
Yeah, this is from listener Jess. Thank you so much for this. This is absolutely the last word. Like, this is the experts.
This is it.
The experts have weighed up.
Have spoken.
And
This is
it's done after this.
Now, I'm reporting in from GaryCon, the convention that honors the life and work of Gary Gygax, co-creator of the original Dungeons & Dragons game. In attendance is Mike Merles, lead designer of the current and previous edition of D&D.
He's got his own Wikipedia page.
It's great. I asked him to weigh in on the Godzilla versus birds from the birds as we had just been hotly debating it the night prior over drinks. He has given permission for me to report his official ruling on this incredibly important topic. While the stats given to Godzilla are not official and were fan-created homebrew, Mr. Merles is of the considered opinion that by the rules of D&D 5 5th edition, several thousand birds, such as ravens, could indeed defeat Godzilla, or at least do enough damage to drive him away. The reasoning confirmed. A bird would have to roll a natural 20 attack in order to hit Godzilla due to his high armor class. Approximately 1 in every 20 attacks would roll the required 20 critically hit and do additional damage. Thus, 2,000 birds would land about 100 critical hits and so on. That's in a probability perfect world, though. Right? The birds are small and nimble, often able to avoid large, clumsy, telegraphed attacks from the kaiju. Making a concerted group attack with a goal in mind, the birds would almost certainly dive bomb into Godzilla's soft, fleshy eyes where they would do the most damage and ultimately, if not kill him, blind him, though they would perish with each such attack. He reminds us that in D&D, all creatures, no matter how strong, have a weak spot.
Yes.
And that would likely be the spot to hit Godzilla as it lacks scaly armor.
I believe I may have brought up that point.
Yes, and blinded, Godzilla's ability to attack or defend would suffer, and he would likely flee back into the ocean or trip and fall. If he stuck around, eventually enough birds would continue to dive bomb into his eye sockets, into his brain, and over time kill him. Now, my one thing is, can I ask this? I want to ask this to this guy. If you can get this guy, a hold of this guy, all right? With this guy's, right? What happens? Why do the birds get to choose? On what level of the bird's conscious in their actions? What is natural? Are we allowed to play the birds? Birds as NPCs? Would they naturally know to attack Godzilla at its scaly eyes? Does it exist as such? Would these birds being, and then again, if it doesn't roll the critical amount of critical hits, will the birds then be destroyed?
You just said that this is the final ruling, and now you're asking a lot more questions. A lot more questions.
It's never done. The digging is never done.
However, I will, even though it does say that this man is
It's more from a curiosity.
This man is saying, and this is an expert saying that, the birds could take down Godzilla. I will, however, have to stand by my initial ruling because it was 400 birds versus Godzilla.
But that's why.
Not several thousand.
That's why we know.
Yeah.
That's how we know we were right on our show. But I am just really, really excited that this debate has continued on and that we will, this is the magic of this. When I'm thinking, though, it's next year, we've talked a little bit about this, about what we might do for the March Madness next year. Because now we might be doing more, we love doing it yearly.
Yeah.
But next time, I think we're going to bring it down to earth and make it more regular powers and get more deep in the. We'll figure it out.
Get a little bit more and actually do it with 20-sided die.
God, that would be cool, wouldn't it?
I think.
Wouldn't that make everybody think that we're the coolest?
I think everybody would think we were the coolest if we
guys.
did that.
Who's the coolest guys ever in the world? maybe we could have a DM come in and help us.
That could be nice.
We can talk about this.
Yeah,
Side
we
stories
do
of
know
PLTL.
we know some very talented DMs.
We do. All right, this next letter. This came in response to our David Icke series when I was asking about what is the specific mental problem with people that view conspiracy theories and they can't read something as allegorical, they must take it specifically.
You must take it literally.
Literally. I'm a political science PhD student at WSU, currently doing research on the political psychology of conspiracy theories, political violence, and radicalization in America. Loving the David Icke series.
Thank you.
Nice. I've not yet listened to the Anders Breivik series, as I'm currently doing a study on radicalization and the Great Replacement, which involves reading his manifesto, but very much looking forward to decompressing with your series after I finish that. What a piece of shit.
Agreed.
In response to Henry's question about what is a psychological mechanism that underlies conspiracy believers being unable to interpret information as figurative, he's likely asking about the need for cognitive closure, or to define briefly, a psychological need for definitive answers in order to avoid feelings of uncertainty.
This makes a ton of sense.
Oh, Cena and I talk about this. It's like one of those the OCD things where you're afraid of the gap in the loop, where it's just you just always want to fill the gap in the loop. An experimental study by, I can't pronounce this, Mishneka and Koshawashka has demonstrated the connection between need for cognitive closure and conspiracy endorsement, in addition to a series of other correlational studies. Interestingly enough, the need for cognitive closure scale was developed by Ari Kruglansky, a big name in radicalization research, who's also described conspiracy theories as radicalization narratives. I think Henry summarized it well when he said something along the lines of, if you actually believe this is how the world works, then what else are you going to do? However, there are quite a few psychological mechanisms that underlie belief in conspiracies. In psychological research, these are broadly classified as epistemic, the need for information, existential, need to avoid anxiety and fear, and social, finding community with the conspiracy believers, which we talked about, the friends that you make along the way. Some scholars have also suggested these mechanisms create a vicious feedback loop where individuals experiencing existential anxiety seek out information through conspiracy theories, which then prompts more existential anxiety and starts the process over and over again.
Yeah, I made that point when I said that when people look for conspiracy theories, out of a, kind of a despair in their own lives, they only ever find more despair.
They just find
it's
more.
Always more despair.
And nothing's going to make you feel better about it. It is there is no piece of information that's going to finally be the thing that puts your soul to rest.
No.
This then becomes amplified over time, while simultaneously constructing an antagonistic outgroup that grounds in social reality, i.e. the Jews, and leads to a range of dangerous behaviors.
Yeah.
So that's a very interesting stuff. And I have a bunch of other, I got a lot of, I'm going to watch this documentary about conspiratorial thinking and misinformation. And it is very interesting because we do want life to be more interesting than it is. And also
simpler than it really is.
Both, because it is then both, right? Because then it means that there's a daddy in charge. There's some massive conspiratorial octopus that is showing you that life is not chaos, that there is a plan, even though you don't understand it. Now, one thing about David Icke that I will still continue to say is that, again, he co-opted reptilians. Yeah. Reptilians are still free. Reptilians are just alien entities. And do I believe that reality is thin and we live in an interdimensional set of circumstances? Absolutely. I believe in all of this. I believe all of that can be true, and also not have it be that the United States government necessarily has vats where they grow child sex slaves and they ship them out across. I feel like there is a middle ground. Maybe
I think we
maybe
can
there
safely
is.
say that reptilians aren't involved in
That.
in the government.
No, they're hassling the Pleiadians. And
Yeah, they're playing a
hassling
much larger
it's
game.
a bigger game. They're
Yeah.
hassling the Pleiadians. They're living underground. They are just, again, what we talked about last time, if they are anything, they are Mormon. If you watch anything about this fucking Ruby Frankie, Jody Hildebrand stuff, they're fucking Mormon.
I haven't read that. I haven't checked this thing
The
out.
Visions of Glory is a book that we'll end up covering on a series because it is we will have to do a series. I know that Spun, someplace underneath, has been kind of more dialed in on this subject.
Mm-hmm.
This idea of this book, Visions of Glory, has inspired Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell, Ruby Frankie. There's a group of people. This is this nouveau crew of Mormon, essentially villains. They're all obsessed with this one guy. I got to find out the proper name. Natalie told me it's in the book. I'm going through that they believe is the rightful prophet that should be in charge of the Mormon church. But this guy is he's not good.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I imagine he's fucking awful.
Everybody involved in it is bad, and it's written under a pseudonym.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Do they know who wrote it?
Yes, this guy named John Pontius wrote it, but then he wrote it also as a pseudonym. He wrote it as a pseudonym, but then he basically it's the story of this guy that died and had a near-death experience, and then he had 3 separate near-death experiences, and each one told him a chunk of the future of Mormonism and the world, and these guys all want it to happen. And what does it involve? Polygamy, child brides.
All the worst shit.
All
from
the bad
Mormonism.
stuff.
Yeah.
All the bad stuff. And then the good stuff. Like what? But you know what I mean? Like just not the normal stuff.
Smiling.
I guess.
They smile a lot.
They have that. I honestly think that should not be theirs.
A good smiling. Yeah.
I think they should get smiling.
I mean, they can share it.
With who?
All of us.
Oh, love every day. Like Mormons owe you a smile.
Yeah.
Live walking around. If you see a Mormon being like, "Where's my fucking smile today? Where is it at?
Don't hassle the Mormons.
Where's my fucking smile today, Mormon?"
Don't hassle the Mormons.
And then laugh, buying them lunch. All right? Because buy a Mormon lunch and flip them back to the other side.
Yeah.
Show them a titty. Show a Mormon. We get the hot dog hooker. Just show breasts. Her well-formed 50-year-old Long Island breasts. To these Mormons, we could flip them. Come on. It's a lap dance. I had my pants on. It's not a crime. I had my pants on.
Yeah, she. You know who's?
I only showed her my top half of my boobies. I love that lady, except for the anti-Semitic.
Except for the anti-Semitic.
Now she's bad. I like.
Yeah.
the old
Now she's
we
like, local character is great. Public nuisance bad. Yeah.
Can't encourage it.
Yeah.
Cannot encourage it.
Can't encourage public nuisance.
This has been another episode of Side Stories, and what an incredible episode it's been.
Hadn't it been?
Go to patreon.com/last podcast on the left to see us do this in person. Go to twitch.tv/LPNTV to see all of our wares or Twitch wares or streams.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the YouTube channel.
We're going to be doing a No Dogs in Space live stream this Monday, April 1st. It's actually going to be our anniversary.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, real cute.
But not your marriage.
No, dating.
Oh, whoa. That doesn't count anymore, buddy.
You know what? That's the thing. I think
not after marriage. It doesn't count anymore.
That's the thing. It's not going to count until the end of until our marriage anniversary, our wedding anniversary this year, because in November it'll be our 5-year wedding anniversary.
Then it kicks over.
And then it kicks over. But until we hit the 5-year wedding anniversary, the dating anniversary still like counts as like a special day. I think it's just because it's for us, it's a very easy date. It's like April Fool's Day will always be like our the day we went on our first date, and we're together from then on.
We had to choose to change our dating anniversary because it ended up being the same day her parents got married. My Natalie's parents got married and they got divorced.
You're gonna say it was 9/11.
Yeah, God. You know how horny I am on 9/11. You never know when they're coming for us, dear. All right, well, yeah, I guess that's it. Go see us on tour. LastPodcastOnTheLeft.com. Go get those tickets. We can't wait. It's gonna be fun as fuck.
Yep. Click tour. Click the date.
Click it on the
buy
thing
tickets.
and then get the thing.
Actually, it's under. I think it's under shows. I'm not tour on the website.
You'll figure it out. If you can't figure it out, then I don't know how you're gonna get out the door to come to the show. Hail Satan, everyone.
Oh yeah, geek. Goodbye, buddy.